Saline District Court is now in session. All those having business before the court draw near. The Honorable Judge J. Cedric Simpson presiding.
And good afternoon. Ms. Kirby, could we have a waiver, please?
Good afternoon, Caitlin Kirby on behalf of the people. The people would waive any potential conflict between this court and the public defender's office, although the people do not believe that there's any conflict. The people make this for an avoidance of any doubt.
All right. And Ms. Reed.
Good afternoon, Reed, Assistant Public Defender. The defenders likewise waive any conflict. We do not believe any exist at this time.
All right. The court, for its part, also does not believe that there is any conflict either under the Michigan court rules or the cases decided thereunder. To the extent a conflict exists, given the waivers, the court will consent to hear the matter. The court does call the case of the People versus Jeffrey Ostermiller.
Caitlin Kirby on behalf of the people.
Silvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Mr. Ostermiller. Sir, could you state your name for the record?
Jeffrey Ostermiller.
Thank you.
All right. And where are we on this case?
So in the underlying case, Mr. Ostermiller is planning on pleading no contest today. I would like to address bond, though, once it is relevant.
He's pleading. Did you send us a police report?
I did.
Oh, yes, I do see it. She sent it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. It's 26 pages.
26 pages. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You indicated he's going to plead no contest to this charge.
That is correct.
Well, while we're waiting the police report coming in, what's the date? 9/18. All right. Mr. Ostermiller, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name again for the record.
Jeffrey Ostermiller.
All right, you can put your hand down. Sir, it is this court's understanding you're going to plead no contest to the charge of domestic violence. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that?
I do.
Do you understand what a no contest plea is?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me explain two things about a no contest plea that you need to understand. The first thing you need to understand about it is it means that you're not further desirous or wanting to contest this charge. Do you understand that? Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Second thing you need to understand is that for purposes of sentencing, the court will treat you the same as though you had pled guilty. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Basis for the no contest plea?
Potential civil liability.
Sir? To the charge of domestic violence, how do you plead?
No contest.
You understand that by pleading no contest, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
I do. Understand.
Because of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
I understand.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
I understand.
All right. Are you on probation or parole?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything other? Well, see, nothing was stated on the record. Has anybody promised you anything to get you to plead no contest?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, Your Honor.
You're doing this voluntarily
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
and of your own free will.
I am.
All right, court has been provided Pittsfield Township Department of Public Safety report for their case number 23-11258. Any objection to the court reviewing that report to form the factual basis?
No, Your Honor.
None from defense.
Based upon a review of that report, the court does find that there's a sufficient factual basis in which the court could determine the defendant guilty of this offense. Counsel, have I complied with the court rule?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is also satisfied.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of no contest to this charge. Defendant is referred to probation for a pre-sentence investigation and report. Sentencing in this matter will be
October 16th at 12 p.m.
October 16th, 2023, 12 noon. As to bond.
Thank you. Your Honor, I understand that this case has been quite interesting in the last week here. I believe that all of the events in this case, given both the underlying facts of the case, the bond violation, as well as what happened during last week's hearing, are all a result of Mr. Ostermiller's relapse. He has been in recovery. He would like to state an apology to you, and I know he'll be able to give you more details, but I know that he's been engaged with going to AA meetings for quite some time. He also has been doing an intensive outpatient program, and obviously he had a pretty severe relapse, and that is the reason that his behavior had fallen out of line. He is very apologetic. He has reached out to the intensive outpatient program that he's been working with, and they did confirm that if he is able to be released, that he can get back engaged with their services immediately. And I do think that that is what is in his best interest for his recovery. He is willing to comply with any conditions that you would impose upon him to allow him to be released today. So that is our stance. And again, I believe that Mr. Ostermiller would like to give you his apologies personally as well.
Mr. Ostermiller.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Reed said an awful lot of it, but yeah. During my last appearance, I was disruptive and extremely disrespectful to this court. I'd like to apologize both to the prosecutor and especially to you, Your Honor, and offer you my assurances that it will never happen again. Ms. Reed was correct. This was a direct result of a relapse that started around Friday, September 8th. And to be quite frank, I got complacent in my recovery and got to a point where I felt it was okay if I could have a few, and that is obviously not the case. So this past week that I've been here in jail, as she mentioned, I reached out to the head of the IOP program that I'm in, and she said that once I'm out, I could start back up in the program as soon as this evening if possible. And I plan on continuing on with that, as well as attending both of the AA meetings that I do daily attend.
Anything from the people?
Your Honor, it was evident at the last hearing that Mr. Ostermiller was under the influence of some kind of substances. I understand his history with substance abuse. I don't have an objection to him being released to treatment, but I would ask for a GPS tether with the hot zone as the facility, so that if he leaves, that we are alerted immediately.
No, the program he is in is an outpatient program.
I'm sorry, I thought you said inpatient. So would
It's
he
an
be,
intensive outpatient?
okay, so would he just be staying at home and going to the program, or,
That is correct.
okay, so then
I don't
would
think
ask-
he would be opposed to a GPS tether with the hot zone of the residents, so that we can be sure that he's not going there.
Right, but that's not the only way that contact is occurring.
Correct, Your Honor. So I would ask, if he is gonna be going to the treatment, I would ask for release with scram tether. And I would also ask for a GPS tether with home confinement, an allowance to go to the intensive rehab facility, and that's it.
Mr. Ostermiller, I don't know what that was that we saw before on September 11th. You were absolutely out of control.
Agreed.
And what worries me is if I release you, even with the conditions of home confinement with the scram tether, I don't know whether or not you can really comply. That's the court's concern. So I'm just going to be straight and up front with you on that. Here's what I'm going to do, and I'd ask Miss Polaris here to get down and see him as soon as you are available to do so. But I'm going to continue your bond at this point as denied. I will reassess that, and counsel, feel free after that the PSI happens. Then certainly you can reach out and fashion an order that I can sign, or reach out to the court and have him brought before the court so we can address it again. But I'm reluctant to do anything until such time as Ms. Polera touches base with him. So I'm going to continue his bond as denied, and we'll work it that way. Okay. You understand that, Mr. Ostermiller?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.